there, and thanks so much for joining me for another video. I'm Erin Eno, and today we're going to be painting this cute little birthday card. A friend of mine has a birthday coming up, and they have asked me to paint birds before, and I know they meant realistic birds, but I thought it would be fun to do a little bird birthday card with a little play on words. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up, and also don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Now grab your paints and let's get started. Today I'll be using my Baohong Academy cold press watercolor paper. It's 100% cotton, 140 pound. I have it trimmed down to a card size to suit this pre-made card stock that I have. I've got this off of Amazon, so I'll put a link to it in the description box. They also come with envelopes, which is just perfect. Now this sheet is half of the watercolor block that I have, and it's about half, and it's pretty much the size of the card. I think I may trim it down a bit so there's a little bit of a brown border around it, but I will decide that later. So we'll just put that aside for now. I also have my jar of water and a paper towel. I have my Royal Talons Van Gogh paints in my palette, and I have 3 brushes on hand. I have 2 Curry's brushes in their 2400 series, one in a size 10 and one a size 2, and I have one in their 2400 series in a size 6 round. You'll also need a pencil and an eraser because we're going to sketch these little birdies out. I will also be using a Pigma Micron in a size 0.08 for my lettering, and I will also be using my Signo white gel pen. If you don't have a white gel pen, you can just use white gouache or white acrylic paint. I'm just using it for the little highlight on the bird's eyes. That's really about it. And yeah, and I'm going to use a glue stick to stick this card onto my pre-made card. So let's just put all this excess stuff away, and we'll just do a quick sketch. I also have a ruler on hand to make sure my lettering's straight, because I'm not the greatest at that. So we're just going to make these little birdies really kind of loose and rough and fun, but I do want them all sitting on some sort of a branch. So I'm just going to just do a rough branch like so. They're not huge birds, so the branch isn't going to be really huge. I may as well put a line in now actually where the lettering's going to go. So I'm just going to put one along here. Okay, so I'm just going to indicate the middle of the sheet roughly, and I'm just going to do a pudgy round body, just a rough kind of circle, and that's going to be his body. They're all going to be based on this big round pudgy body. Okay, and then his head, he's going to be looking up, and I want the head to be kind of squat, almost like into his body almost. And I know this is really rough. So then I'm just going to join his head to his body and join his head to his body here. And he's going to be, actually his head's a little off center. That's not where I want his head. Let's try this again. I'm going to put his head in the middle. But I want him looking up a bit. Like so. So he's going to be front facing, but his head is going to be tipped up into the air a little bit. Just like that. Okay, so then I will just join his neck to his pudgy body and join his neck there. And we'll just do kind of rough wing shapes here. These are not realistic birds. Remember, they're kind of whimsical and kind of silly. And have his legs come down. And his little feet wrapping around the branch. And that's him. Just put little indicators where his wings are gonna go. I know I've got a lot of excess lines in there, but that's okay. I will be erasing them all. But I will erase where the circle was for his head. Okay, and then his little eyeball will be about here. So that's him. So he's just kind of round and pudgy and silly. And then over here we will do another bird. And again, it's going to start with that same circle. So I'm just going to put a little guideline here. He's going to be a little further down, I guess, because that branch is kind of, I'm just going to fix the branch so it's not so low. And we'll draw his body, his big circle. I am not good at drawing circles. I need to practice that. And then his head, wow, he's really fat. Maybe that doesn't need to be that fat. And then I'm going to have his head over here. He's just going to be standing sideways. Now, normally for a bird, you'd have his head a little higher, but I want these to be kind of, like I say, fun and pudgy. So we're exaggerating how pudgy they are. And then his beak, he's just going to be facing straight sideways, and his eye will be here. And then we're going to put some marks where his wings will be, and he's going to have a tail. That comes down, and his feet just kind of angled forward. No, the perspective is not correct, but it doesn't have to be for fun little birds. I've got a lot of lines down here too. And I think I will make his back come down not so round here. As long as he's still silly and pudgy, it'll be good. So we'll erase these center lines where his head joins his body. Okay, now we've got the little guy on the end, and he's going to be with his head down. So actually, maybe I should draw his head first, just so I know I've got enough room here. I'm going to move him over closer to this guy. And then I will probably trim the card a little smaller. And I'll just trim it off this end, and then that way they'll be a little more centered on the sheet. I am going way off track with this head of his. That's a little better. And we'll put his beak down here. And his eye right about here. And then his pudgy body will be out this way. So all their bodies are roughly the same size circle, regardless of what direction they're in. And then we're going to do his tail up in the air like this. And a wing. We'll do some little lines to indicate the wing, and then we'll join his neck into his body there, and his head into his body there, and his feet will come out like this as well. So I think that looks about right. This guy might be a little small. Just like that. Okay, and I think that should be good enough. So I'm going to lighten the lines and then we'll start to paint these little guys. We'll do the lettering later. So I'm going to start with my size 8 brush, and I'm just going to do burnt sienna for their bodies. Maybe a little bit of sepia in there after. Okay, and I'm just going to start light. I don't want to start off too dark. So I'm just going to do a wash. Now we're going to make these kind of robins, not kind of, they're going to be robins. So I want to make sure I leave half of his face so I can put red in there. And I'm thinking that maybe this brush might be too big for these little guys. And I'm not worried about getting perfectly smooth washes. I do want these to be kind of rough. And I'm just doing quick strokes just to get some feathers, or the impression of feathers, down towards the bottom there. And then this guy as well, we'll start and do half of his head. It's about halfway down past his eye is where I want this burnt sienna to go. Now he's front facing, okay, so his red is going to come down here, so we want to make sure we don't do that. So we want to make sure that we don't put raw or burnt sienna there. And then we're just going to bring this down to his wings. And again, I'll just do this kind of rough to indicate some kind of feathers. Like so. And then we'll do the last guy. And that's going to come down part way down past his eyeball, which I can't see now because I erased too much of it. And he's side facing, so we'll just get his tail out here. Just like that. And his belly's going to be red and fade off into white or grayish. Okay, but we want some kind of indication of wings on his side here. And we can always go in and add that in with a finer brush and some darker pigment. He can be a little darker. I screwed up his tail there. I don't know what I did there. I think I hit it with my hand or something. Oh well, it's okay. Okay, so we've got that. Now I want to make sure that these just stay kind of quick and loose, so I don't want to spend too much time on them, but I'm going to go in with a little more of the burnt sienna and just kind of put some lines in where his wings are. I've switched to my size 2 round. Okay, so we're just doing this just to give him some shape and some kind of idea of wings, like I say. Now I'm going to take some sepia and just touch the very edge of his wings. Whoops, I just changed the whole shape of his head. That's okay. I just want to get some darkness in there to give him some shape, even though we're not doing realism here, but just want to give his feathers a few different colors, just so he's not all one color. And this bleed looks kind of harsh here, so I'm just going to soften that a bit. Then we'll do the same to the other birdies. Okay, so I'm just going to add some more burnt sienna just to add some shape. I don't want to fuss too much because I do want them to still have kind of a loose feel. I should do this sienna, burnt sienna all at once, so we'll do this guy too. Get his feathers there, or his wings rather. I kind of screwed that up. His wings should be higher up. I'm just going to blot this up. So don't do what I just did. Okay, his wings are going to be part way up that brown area. I didn't want to bring them all the way down. So let's try this again. I'm a little out of sorts today. So his wings now, let's do this, are up here. There we go. We do a little wing line there as well, and I'll make it more apparent when I do the sepia. So again, we'll just go in and get a little sepia. Add some kind of feathers here. Don't worry about being exact here. We're just kind of making fun, cute little birdies. Like that. Then I'm just gonna clean off my brush, tapped it off on my paper towel just so it didn't have too much water in it, and I'm just softening some of these darker areas out a bit. I don't think I like what's going on here. I kind of messed up his edge here a bit, so I'm just going to fix that up. There we go. You're good now, little birdie. Okay, that's that. Now I'm going to go in with my number 6 brush, and we're going to do his little red spot on his chest. And I'm going to use Permanent Red Light, which is really kind of orangey, and that's good because I want an orangey red, and I'm just going to put the smallest amount of carmine in there just so it's not too orange. That looks good to me. And I'm going to start off with just a medium wash because I'm not sure how dark I want this to go. So I'm going to go, and you can cover his beak because his beak's going to be dark. So I want to leave his eyeball, and you don't have to fuss too much because his eye is going to be dark as well. So if I go past the line, I'm not too concerned. So I'm just going to drag this down his little robin chest. like so. And I'm going to take my number 2 and have it just damp. And I'm just going to bring out some wisps, little wispies of that red. I'll actually heavy it up with a little more pigment towards the outside, or towards the, whoops, the edge there. I'm trying to rush because I don't know why I'm trying to rush. I just feel rushed today. I shouldn't, but I do. Okay, and again, I'll just kind of blend that out a bit. Like that. That works. You can take some of that sepia, blend this in a bit if you want. If you want a smoother transition from the red. But like I say, these are not, you know, realistic birdies, to say the least. So I'll go in with that red again, kind of a medium wash. Now remember, this guy's facing front, so his whole chest partway down will be red and then up towards his turned face. Okay, so, well, that's not quite red enough. So you've got his eye and then out to his beak. So it's going to come all down like this. Like so. I'll add a little more pigment up here. I'm just winging it. I don't know what this is going to look like, but we're going to find out. Again with my number 2, just wet, a little damp, and just drag this down. And to blend it out, I'll do the same thing. Get that burnt sienna and just blend the red in. Just where it goes into his head. Like that. That's not bad. One last robin to do. And this is going to come up to his eyeball. And he's kind of sideways, so it's going to come up here. I think. And under his belly a bit. And then we can blend that out. I'm going to blend it out with this brush. I think the size 2 is a little... No, actually the size 2 is probably the better bet. It's just too wet, or too dry now. Don't know why it soaked in so fast. Let's try this again. There we go. I hope this one's not too dark. It looks darker than the others, but we'll see. It's all good. And then I'm coming in with the burnt sienna again, just to blend that red in to his body. Like so. And then I don't want to just leave the rest of his body stark white. So I'm going to get just a little bit of black just a wash, very light wash. So it's just the slightest hint of gray. Okay, and I'm just kind of tap it in, just so he looks like he's got a little bit of shape and shadow on him. I could even bring in just a little bit of the burnt sienna there, just to transition his feathers. I apologize if I'm not making much sense, but I think my mind is somewhere else. So again, whoop, that was really easy on the gray. So just a little bit of shadow towards his underneath part. And same for the guy on the end. I'm not really trying to put in shadows here. It's just a little something so he doesn't look, you know, pure white on his belly. I can even take that burnt sienna again, and kind of blend his body in there. There we go. Now for his beak, I'm just going to do sepia, because it can afford to be a little dark. I'm going to do all three of them. And then I'm just going to kind of blend it a bit. So I'm just doing a little triangle, and then have it go into his feathers or into his body a bit, just like that. Then I'm going to rinse and dry off my brush and just kind of soften this up. I could even go in and put a little bit of black in there if it's too light. Which maybe I will. Okay, so now we're going to do the branch. And the branch, I want kind of a brownish gray. So I'm going to take that burnt sienna, and I'm just going to add a tiny amount of Payne's gray. Well, that's not a tiny amount. Let's try this again. There we go. Okay, and I'm just going to paint the whole branch, because their feet will be darker and that will go over the branch, so we're good there. Put a little more Payne's gray in there for the underneath part. A little darker than that. There we go. I don't know why I'm using my size 8 brush for this. It's probably a little big. So I'm going to go to my size 6. And I'm just going to blend this out now. And it can be rough, obviously, because it's a branch. So it's just kind of rustic and rough. We're not trying to do anything perfect here. Add a little more sepia underneath just to give it a little bit more shape. Okay, just like that. Now their beaks did dry a little light, so I'm just going to go in and get some more black. and just add a little more something to their beaks. And then also with the black, we're going to do their eyeballs, and they're just going to be round. And we're going to put the highlights on those with the gel pen later, once this is dry. So far, I'm kind of pleased. I think they're kind of cute. So now we're going to go in and do their feet, and I wonder if I should do them with marker. Nah. I'm going to risk it, and we'll do it with a brush. Hopefully I won't screw it up. Let's just hope that the branch is dry enough now. Just do their little claws round. This guy's got big feet because the branch is really wide at this point, but oh well, that's okay. They're silly, whimsical birds, so it's all good. There we go. So I think that's pretty decent. I think I wouldn't mind adding a little bit of texture to the red parts on them, the red breasts. So hopefully I can do this without ruining it. So I'm going to use my size 2, but I'm going to do it with a fairly dry brush, and we'll see what happens here. I may regret doing this. If I want to soften it up, which I think I may, I can just hit it with some water. Yeah, I'm not real thrilled that I did that, so I'm going to soften this up. I'm not happy with that. So I'm just kind of mushing it around to reactivate it, because I didn't like that at all. Okay, I think I just have to apologize for the pun when I said I was just winging it on this. I really didn't mean to have such a ridiculous pun in there, but I think by you seeing me do this trial and error stuff, you're pretty sure I was just winging this. And yes, I can see out of the corner of my eye over here that I hit his wet eye with that red. I have a feeling maybe I shouldn't be painting tonight, but so there you go. There are your little birds, and I apologize because I was all over the place in this tutorial so far, but now I'm going to do the lettering because their eyes are not dry enough. Okay, and I think their eyeballs might be dry enough now that I can put a little highlight dot on them. Yep. there we go. So now I'm going to erase the pencil lines, and I am going to trim it down slightly so it fits the card a little better, and I will glue it down and we'll come back and take a look. And there you go, there is your happy birthday card. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial despite the silly puns, and I hope you found it helpful, and maybe you will give this a try on your own. I may do another one with different colored birds, like maybe blue, green, orange, something, who knows, just something kind of bright and cheery. So anyway, if you do give this a try and you're on Instagram, as I always say, please be sure to share and tag me so I can have a look. And thanks again so much for joining me, and I will see you next time.